Good morning, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Good to have you with us.
Morning.
We have a special guest with us today from the Netherlands. His name is Hai, and you're going to have to pronounce your last name for me.
Faessen.
Faessen, okay. Easier than it sounds, easier than it looks. Anyway, Hai's got a layout, and we've been talking for almost an hour, and he's been telling us, so we kind of quit asking questions, so we only had to answer them once. But he's got a pretty fascinating little layout, and he's going to be telling us all about that today. So you guys get ready to ask some questions.
Oh, yeah.
And Steve, you want to go through the line up there?
Oh, do you really?
There?
Okay. Good morning, everybody. We got Almar. We got a new one. John Benicki. Is that how you say your name? Rob T-Man, Lynn McCurdy. And we got PBR. Good morning, Grandpa Rails, Rob T-Man, my buddy Bernard Almar. There's another John in here, too. Morning, Allie. And let's see, we got Gail's in here. Good morning. John Dawson, another one. Good morning. Did I miss anybody?
Roy's here.
Missed a lot of people.
I always miss maybe I should do.
No, you're okay.
Mom and son rail fans are here.
Yeah, that's one I haven't heard of before.
Roy's here, yeah. So, well, anyway, welcome everybody. If we missed you.
Morning, Tammy and Roy from Mom and Son Train Rail Fans. And
got to see Almar, by the way, on his live stream from the Amherst train show.
Yeah.
Almar and his wife were there, so I get to see them.
Oh, we got our buddy pilot, John 2618. Good morning.
Oh, John's here. Good morning, John.
Haven't seen you in a while.
So anyway, like I was saying, Hai is from the Netherlands, and he does in-scale modeling, and he's got a nice little layout. Uses a JMRI, right? And
yep.
But I'll let him explain that to you because it was a little over my head. It's too early in the morning for me to understand what he was talking about.
Well, maybe we should start with some generalized questions that, are your typical model railroad questions, like when did you start in the hobby and what drew you to the hobby?
Well, the hobby started in, 1993, I think. Together with my wife, we joined a train club in the Netherlands, and the train club was modeling in N-scale. So, and they were making modules, which were about 4 feet and 1.5 feet deep. So 4 feet long and 1.5 deep feet. And they were specific, the tracks were on a specific position on that module. You could change a little bit of it, but you also needed to make sure that they came back at the edge where the next module was sitting on. So my wife and I, we built several modules, and we had in total at the longest point about 100 feet of track on all those modules. I also bought some modules from colleague model railroaders in the Netherlands, and yeah, due to changes, we left the model club. But while we were there, we used a caravan to transport all the modules to go to shows. The same what was in Amherst, that a lot of clubs were there which put their modules together, and we were part of that as well. So we went to Belgium and in the Netherlands, several locations with the club to show our modules. Later on, I stashed them away, and the larger ones, which were 4 feet by 3.5 feet, I dismantled them, took the buildings off because I didn't have any room anymore to go there. And Alley Cat, no, I'm not an NMRA member. The club was NMRA, but I'm not an NMRA member. So I stashed everything away and then thought, yeah, we'll see what happens. So, and in the room where I'm sitting, that's the attic of my house, I started to build a music room. But later on, I thought, well, the room is big enough to do something back with the hobby again. So I thought I'm gonna build a smaller layout, and it's not a removable. Yeah, well, you can remove it, but it's a fixed table, and it's about a little bit less than 5 feet deep and just over 9 feet long. So that's the
Now
table.
you model European in scale. Do you know what the difference between European in scale and what we have over here in the States, as far as the distance between the rails? Is it smaller than the in
Well,
scale
N
we're
scale is
familiar
nine
with, or is it?
millimeter. Yeah, N scale is 9 millimeter between the rails itself, and we follow the NMRA protocol, which
So what
in
is the is it still 1 to 160 ratio, or is it a different?
no, I think it's still a 1-to-1 ratio. I was in a contest with Jason, the train freak, and I won there some boxcars, and he sent them over to me, and they are just on my layout, so they run on my
Okay.
layout. The track difference of the between the rails is exactly the same. The only problem what I had with those boxcars which I got was they had knuckle couplers, and I use repeater couplers on all mine. So I had to make one of I bought one from Union Pacific, a boxcar, and I modified that it has at one end a knuckle coupler, and the other one it has a repeater coupler.
There you
Gotcha.
go.
And the overall footprint you said was about 9 feet by 5 feet, give or take a little less than 5 feet deep.
Yep.
Now might be a good time to go ahead and throw up your track plan for us.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to stick that up there again, we'll put it up on the screen.
Okay, let me share that screen. Let me. So this is my track plan, and the cities and the villages and so on, they have the names of my dogs. So it's not based on prototypical. So I have here a train station, which 4 tracks, and the train station is for the town called Buddytown and the village called Codyville. So from this area over here, where the shadow station is, until this area, that's about 9 feet. And then where the shadow station name is until the this area over here, that is a little bit less than 5 feet. The Kevin's yard, which you see here in this area, it's actually positioned on top of these double loops. And I'm currently in a change process of moving it a little bit. So the shadow station, I built that instead of a helix. I had helixes, but the problem was that my incline and decline was not long enough. So I was over the 4% of grade, and with an N-scale locomotive, it's not a good idea to do. So I tear down the helixes and build the shadow station with 4 tracks, and this is then a station called Aki Station, named after the cat of my son. And then we have the staging yard, and that's really the location where it is just an extension of my layout, and it only has 4 tracks where I can stage my coaches, my locomotives, etc. But that is still a work in progress. It is already there, but it currently doesn't have any power. Because the system of everything is DC, so analog, but I use a twist in my way of controlling the system. Yeah, as you can see, this is a JMRI layout, and I use DCC-EX as my base station, and I sniff the information what the DCC-EX sends out, and I translate it in a power section to control all power on my track.
So let me ask a quick follow-up question on that. So that allows you to run DC equipment on your rails, and your sniffer takes in the information from your DCC command station and then applies it to the rails so that any DC equipped locomotive then runs accordingly in that block. Am I understanding that correctly?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, that's what I thought you'd said earlier, but I wanted to make sure that I understood that and was going to ask that question. That's really really awesome.
Yeah, it's over my head, but it doesn't have to get very high to get over my head.
Now, and let me ask another question in that same kind of area. You mentioned that your blocks turn off and on as the locomotive transfers from one block to the next. The preceding block will turn on, and the previous block will turn off.
Correct.
Is that a necessary thing to take place because you're applying the DCC to each block so that what's going on in the other blocks won't interfere with the DC signal? Is that why you did it that way?
No, the reason why I did that because I want to have multiple trains running, and of course in the real system, in the real world, there is always one block empty between the locomotives. So you have a locomotive running in one block. So let's say it's block number 4, then block number 5 will be an empty block. There is no trains allowed, and then block number 6 has again a train. So the block in between needs to be empty. But what I'm trying to do, and that is still a work in progress, is that I can run multiple trains. I was already able to do that last year, and I also put a link I put a video on that as well, that I was able to do a full loop with 2 trains on my layout, but that was only on the blue area. So now I'm adding the yellow and the green area to it. So I needed to rewrite my program on my power control system. And to answer the question from Pat Valley Railroad, I do not use DCC decoders. I don't have any DCC decoders. What I do is I sniff the bus, and with the DCC inspector, which is part of the DCC-EX program, and I only take the locomotive ID, the speed that the locomotive is running, and the forward or reverse motion, and that is sent over a serial connection to my power controller, and the power controller then translates it to everything. Let me share another screen. Let me.
This is all way over my head.
I'm with you, Jerry. It's interesting.
Well, but it's still fascinating, though. Conceptually,
Yeah.
I totally understand conceptually what's going on. And so therefore, I find it just another niche in the hobby that is, again, what makes this hobby the greatest hobby in the world, because there are so many different aspects.
Just a different way you can do it. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me explain it a little bit here. This is the output of my Arduino Mega, which is my power controller. And what it does, it tries to see if it detects a train. At this moment, you can see that there is no train detected, although it knows that there was a train, which is called NS 1127A, is located on main track 3B. And main track 3B is here at the train station. So the next path to go would be main track 4 and then 5. Or if these switches or the turnouts are set different, it could go over main track number 9 here and go to the to Kevin's yard. But that is currently inactive. So I have these turnouts over here set to straight. Because
Quick question, Ryan.
yeah.
So, how do you do a reversing section? I mean, is that programmed into the program so that when you turn a turnout that would cause a reversing section, say like you were showing right there, if you continued on the blue loop, that would actually turn that into a reversing section. Does it automatically swap that for you?
Well, that's a work in progress. But the thing is that I only have to reverse the power on that section. And I use motor drivers to control the track. So motor drivers which are used in robots, etc. And you can just put a signal on it to reverse the power or put the power back in. So every section is isolated from each other. So these are real isolated sections. And for example, the turnout here at the bottom, which is turnout number 2, that one belongs to power section 4. And turnout number 3, which is up top here, that belongs to power section number 5. Well, actually, no, sorry, that still belongs to power section number 4. And then there are isolators in between. So the track itself is really isolated from the previous track. So not what you have with DCC. Usually with DCC, all the tracks, they are connected via a large bus, and if you have a reversing section, you use a reverser, and then you really have isolators there. But the rest, if it's usually straight tracks, then they are continuously. You can still put isolators in it, but they are connected to the same DCC bus. And here they are not. They are really connected to a separate power controller.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So
you know, Allie kind of points out, she says that this is a complex way of avoiding buying decoders, which Hy did explain in the pre-show. You know, he showed us one of his locomotives and how there's just no room for a decoder, even if he wanted to put one in.
Yeah, I can let me stop sharing so I can show. This is one of the locomotives which I have. But actually, there is one truck missing because I accidentally glued it with super glue. So, and if I pull out the lid, this is all cast iron. So let me do this. So this is all cast iron. So then I would need to remove this top section to put the decoder in. And this is also with a pantograph, so for a catenary system. And these locomotives, they can run with a catenary system, so to grab the power from the catenary itself. So there is literally no room, if I'm gonna put this back in there, to put a decoder in. So, and that's the problem with a lot of my old locomotives which I have. There is no room. So either I need to buy DCC locomotives, which cost a fortune, or I need to do something different. And that is what I did.
There you go.
So,
And someone who's an electronics hobbyist, why not?
Yeah, so like, let me touch on this real quick. So Hy's strong point is electrical engineering. You know, everybody has a strong point, so you gravitate towards that to solve problems, right?
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yep.
So this would be one of the controllers which I use. This is an Arduino Nano. I put just programs on it. Yeah. There's actually this is the Nano itself, and this is just a shield, so I can add the additional points to it. And I explained that in my videos as well on my channel, that and the next video will be actually for a new way which I resolved to get more track connected to my power section. And I'm gonna have this one act as a I2C controller instead of a regular single board computer. And yeah, those things I like to investigate that with programming and with the electrical, because if I'm going to show the electrical system, then I think a lot of people will switch away.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might lose some people over that. I can see. I can see that. Yeah, it's interesting to watch, but it just I get lost in it. So it's I take the path of least resistance from my brain. That's the way I go.
Me too.
Yeah, it can get pretty wild.
I actually made a board so I can explain it.
There we go.
If you can put it.
Yeah, let's get you up there again.
Yeah. So this is actually a test example. So we have the DCC EX here, and it also has Wi-Fi on it. That one has power of this is the DCC bus, and the DCC bus is sent over a fast switching optocoupler. It translates because the DCC bus you cannot just connect it to a Arduino. You need to isolate those two. So the optocoupler functions as an isolator, and then I use a DCC inspector to check what is being sent out, because DCC constantly sends out that a locomotive runs at a certain speed. If you sniff that bus, then it constantly push that on the bus. The locomotives itself, they don't send a signal back, I have received your command, so I'm gonna run. No, it constantly does that. So this one detects it, and then it automatically sends it over a serial connection to this one, which then actually controls the power on the power controllers over here via a servo motor drive of a servo controller. And with this you can set pulses and then regulate the output one way or the other way. And then here on top, well, I don't have the tracks on here anymore, but then between this power controller there is a current sensor, and then it sends the current when the locomotive is moving, and then it sets a high that the train is moving, and then JMI sees that as a sensor, and then it just lights up the track.
Amazing.
Yeah. That's like I say, way over my head. And I agree with Lynn McCurdy. Holy smokes, that's electrical art.
Electrical art, very, very well put.
Yes, sir.
So here's a question I have. I've got LEDs attached to a little welder guy on my layout, and if anybody's watched Tom's Trains and things, it's virtually the exact same Arduino sketch that he does in his videos detailing that. The difference that he's got an off and on button for his. I have, from the very concept of starting that, have wanted it to only be to come off and on with block detection. So how would one get from your block detection to the Arduino to simply turn off and on an audio Arduino sketch?
Well, I already actually do that already, sort of, because if I'm gonna present the last screen again. Let me do that.
You two guys are going to be talking for months and months and months.
Because here at the bottom, you see that there should be a train on track number 3B, but it's not lit here. So as soon as you sense current, then you have a signal, and that signal is sent as a sensor into JMRI, and then you can send that to the Arduino as well as a stop or a start, that when there is something detected, to get your sketch running. So you do a loop while this is not active, while this is active, you need to run this section of program. If it's not active anymore, you quit out of the program. So that's in a while statement, what you can actually easily do within the Arduino, and then it moves on. In my system as well, I detect if there is a train running. If it moves from one section to the other section, then I sense current in the other track, which means that the previous track, the power will be shut off. So there is no power on the track behind him, and then behind where the locomotive is, and then it runs. By the way, I can control the train via my cell phone over engine driver, because that is part of JMRI, and that's the nice thing about it, that I have vThrottle running, the vThrottle server running on JMRI, and then have the DCC EX just send out the information.
Dennis is telling me he's lost audio.
Oh no!
You still going, Dennis? My guess is he is.
Yeah.
Well, Railroad Enthusiast wanted to know how many train controllers do you have running that layout?
At this moment, let me count. One. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I can show it. I will change the camera. Need to start a different program. Just bear with me.
Here we got Marcel in chat. Good morning. We haven't seen you in a while.
Oh, hey, Marcel. I didn't see him come in.
Yeah, good to see you.
I was trying to understand what the high was saying, so that had my brain overloaded trying to understand what he was saying.
Okay, so you should be able to see the whole layout from here.
Wow.
Oh, nice.
Let me see if we can. So let me go over that. So this is Codyville. That's the city which I built. It's actually above the staircase, which is underneath it. Then this is Buddy Town. And yeah, currently it is daytime in Buddy Town. The town itself, every 24 minutes, is in our time is 1 day in Buddy Town. And there are several lights in the buildings as well, and also the street lights around it, which go on and off with a clock in JMRI. So here we have the train on track number 3B, and when that train is moving, it moves over to the rest of the track. So we have a windmill over there. Unfortunately, need to replace the motor there. And then we go to the back. So I still need to put a lot of scenery over here. And I have a bridge. And I would like to make a river. But at this moment, this area over here has the staging yard. The train yard already. And I would like to move the train yard a little bit over there. So this is the train yard. That's Kevin's yard. And this is the shadow station, which I built next to it. And then we have the staging yard over there. And this is the computer which I just showed in the screen share, which has JMRI on it. And it also runs the programs. So let me grab my cell phone.
Yes, Marcel. He is from the Netherlands.
So I have the cell phone, and there is power on the track, at least power on DCC. I can select the engine. These are the locomotives which I have configured within JMRI, but I'm going to select this one because that's the one which I'm currently working on to get everything up and running. And currently only the forward motion is working correctly. The rest I'm still working on it. So if I gonna start the engine, you see it runs. It starts to run. So I just controlled a DC locomotive over JMRI. So and then it moves over here.
So I don't know much about JMRI, but to use it, you need to use it with DCC.
You can use it actually with various controllers. So now I stop the train. And I hope nobody gets dizzy.
Close your eyes, Dennis.
So this is my control station, control block, the power station. So these are all motor drivers, and they are controlled by that Arduino. And underneath, we have relays, which controls the turnouts, because I have snap switch turnouts. So you need to have two relays which are on and off a second to snap the turnout. And then here you have the DCC EX control station, and it sends the signal over to this interface to that sniffer. And these two wires, so all the communication goes over these two wires directly to the Mega, and that's where the magic happens. So the the Mega controls all these motor drivers.
I like your point.
Amen Christmas. I think I
So
got
that
smoke
is-
on my ears just looking at that.
So, and if you can see at this moment, the street lights just went on here, and there are some lights in the buildings as well, and that is just controlled by JMRI.
Dennis says that looks like the back head of a 747 back panel, flight panel. Back head of it.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. So and in every building, because a lot of buildings have a lot of LEDs in there. It is all LED lit. So almost every apartment has its own LED, and then they will go on and off at a certain time. So and when I would switch off the light, it would show a very nice. Let me do that. Let me see if I can quickly do that. So then it looks like this.
That looks
And
great.
as said, every 24 minutes it's a full day in this town.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. Lights in the buildings and stuff really bring a layout to life.
Gail's
Hey, he hasn't showed his stairwell downstairs yet, has he?
No, I was just getting ready to ask him if he wanted to show us the stairwell, but
Yeah, no problem. Let me put the lights back on.
now how tall are you, High?
Yeah, good question.
You can give it to us in
176
centimeters.
centimeters.
How many?
176 centimeters.
That's 69 inches, so just under 6 foot.
So 5'7".
Yeah.
5.7 feet.
Okay. Well, I was going to say,
So, but if
I
you
know
want
you're up in the loft or the attic or whatever you guys call it, but you're upstairs. You probably don't have a lot of headroom anyway.
Well, this is the ceiling. So
Nice
this is
and
just
cozy.
the door height. So that's the regular door height over there. So, but this is just the entry to my stairway.
Wow, that's cool.
There you go.
So, and this is actually a lift up section over here. So this can be lifted up, but then I need to remove the town or the village.
So, Hi, you
So-
said earlier that you and your wife started modeling. Does your wife help you with your layout?
No, not anymore.
Okay.
She built actually this area over here. That is an area which came from our old layout. So the marketplace, the school, these houses over here. So she did that all. And on the market itself, she used cigarette paper to roll and to make carpets of it. What is it? Yeah, carpets of it for on this layout. And
To make what?
she also painted the people
What
because
did she
they are
use
less than
cigarette
1 centimeter
paper for?
high. Say it again.
What did she use the cigarette paper for?
To make carpet rolls.
Oh, carpet rolls. Okay, I understand now.
So how do you access the back side of the layout? It looks like, if you're talking 5 feet, that's a long stretch. How do you get to the back?
That's easy.
Let me
Bill.
switch camera again. So let me switch camera again. So here is the cell phone. I'm gonna put that away. This is still in progress, but this is a lift out.
Nice.
And then I can
Yeah.
just reach over at the end. I can't reach at the windmill over there. That is just a little bit too far away. But I have some kitchen stairs of which I can use to reach there. And let me see. Where did I put it? This is
there you
also
go.
handy.
Yeah.
Dennis, you need to add one of those to the end of your pointer.
Yep.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Yeah, who needs a pointer when you got one of those?
No doubt. He just showed all of us up right there. Look at that.
No, that was good. That hidden panel for access. You couldn't even tell it looking at the video that was there. So that's nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, Claude, you
Yeah,
put grabbers so that when you're under your layout, you can grab your beer whenever you can get out.
Yeah, I'd grab it and dump it all over myself, I'm sure.
Okay, so here's the next question. You've got multiple cameras situated on the layout, and you have some kind of control system to access different views. Can you kind of give us a background and let us know what you're using to do that? and what kind of cameras they are, that kind of thing? Because I'm going to need cameras underneath my layout eventually. So I haven't gotten that far yet to really even look into it. So I'm curious what you're doing there.
So let me share my screen again. Let me do it this way. So this is an overview of my cameras, and they are actually two of the cameras are currently installed in buildings.
So
And
they're
the
actually
cameras,
hidden. You can't see them just looking at the layout.
yeah. So
Cool.
that would be this camera over here, which I'm now blocking. That is inside a house. And then we have a camera over here. Let me see if that one. So now it's blank. So that is looking at the windmill. That's also inside a house. And those are ESP32 cameras.
Well, now the one with the street view where the red car is that in a building or is that setting out on its own? Because that's a good view there.
So you mean this one?
Yes.
That is currently just lying on the street. So I'm still looking to see if I can put it in a building. Because a lot of buildings, they have their own controllers inside for the lights which are in each apartment, and so that there is no room for a camera to put in.
And Bernard wants to know if your cams are Arduino driven.
No, these are ESP32s. So and it runs just a program. Let me put one here. So you can select the resolution. These are just sketches which have been created specifically for the ESP32, and you can start and stop the stream on it. And I just use Vivaldi Explorer. So this is a web browser, and within the web browser you can group windows with each other. So that's the reason why you see 6 windows in this screen. It presents it as one output, and that makes it very nice that you have a overview of your whole table.
And you say that's a web-based program?
Yeah, Vivaldi is
like
just a
you're
web
actually
browser.
online connected to that? Is that how that works?
All these cameras are connected over Wi-Fi.
But then, what is the command and control of the view of your various views?
This is just the web browser is called Vivaldi.
Vivaldi, as in like the composer?
Yes.
Okay.
And with that, you can group various windows together in one view, and that's the nice thing about this.
Okay, so just to be clear, in order for this to work, you have to have a connection to the internet to make use of Vivaldi.
No.
No.
This is internally.
Okay, so it's a download then?
Yes.
Okay.
Vivaldi is just a downloadable browser like Internet Explorer, Chrome, or Firefox, or Safari. It is just another web browser, and then you can group the pages together if you want. I know that Chrome is working on that one as well, and also Edge, they are working on a way to get this one done as well. Because what I do here is, for example, at the bottom, this overview, this is the output of my IP camera, which is connected on the ceiling, and that just runs over a web browser. And I just show it here. The output of the JMRI layout, that just comes from my JMRI laptop. And these cameras, they are just connected over Wi-Fi on their own address. And then I just put them together in this overview.
Okay, I think I understand that.
Then you can explain it to us later.
So,
No,
but
that's pretty cool
yeah,
if you can do all the cameras like that.
yeah, there is only a downside with the cameras which I use because they don't have that higher resolution, and you can see that as well, that the image is a little bit blurred, so that it's not that a higher quality. But at least
is that specifically because of the camera?
yeah, it's because of
The choice
the
of the
lens
camera?
which they use.
Okay.
Yeah, but it does look nice because it's not distorted on the edge like you can get on a lot of cameras. You've got it looks natural when you're looking through.
Yeah, that's the reason why I set it to a lower resolution, because I can set it to a higher resolution, but at some point you don't get that throughput correctly, and then it starts to distort or yeah, it's not a nice view. And now it's working, and they just get 5 volt from my power supply, which is underneath the layout, and then I just grab the IP address. So every camera has its own IP address.
Yeah, like Ali says, at least you can see what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Which for that, especially if you're going to put it down on the street level like that or track level, to make it look like you're standing there watching the trains, it doesn't have to be real clear resolution, because your train's going to go by pretty quick when you're down that close to it. It's not like you're watching it from a distance. But yeah, that's kind of neat. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'll ever do something like that, but that's, there again, there's another phase of the hobby that you can do. And I know a lot of people, I know Jack uses a lot of cameras, and several
if you're looking
people
at
do.
Anthony Dodge has 12 cameras.
Yeah.
But he has very clear view because he uses 4K cameras, 2K cameras, and he puts them all in an OBS screen. But he also has a computer which can handle it.
Yeah.
My system, which I'm currently using, can't handle it because I was trying to use OBS to connect to StreamYard for this to get this all, and so that I could switch it myself. But no, it didn't run, didn't like it. And JMRI, that is just a laptop which is behind me, so that runs on its separate computer, which is better.
Jerry. I know that's Jerry. It's always Jerry making that extraneous noises.
Well, I don't know if you hear.
Thanks for showing us your layout. Say again, Bill?
I didn't say anything. I just slurped.
Oh, okay.
Me too. I just like.
Well, thanks for showing us your layout. I was going to ask if anybody.
Fascinating.
It was very nice.
Yes. If Bill or Dennis wanted to show anything, or anybody else want to show anything. If not, I'll if anybody wants to see it, I've been working on the scenery on the mining area.
Claude's got a lot of stuff.
And I need to do an update. I'll probably do one this weekend, but if you want to see a quick peek, I'll take it up there and show you.
Yeah.
Hopefully the phone will cooperate. Let me get this switched around. Oh, that's not right. Get the back camera so you can actually see what's going on. And I'll run up there real quick.
Yeah, make yourself big before you go.
Yes. Thank you. Okay.
There you go.
Dear travelers, in a few minutes, the train to Buddytown will arrive on platform 2.
That's pretty cool. How do you do that, Hi?
Eh?
How do you do that?
That's also within JMRI.
Okay.
Was that a pet barrier there, Claude, to keep the?
Say again, Bill?
Was that a pet barrier? It looks like you had something at the base of the door.
It's just a large piece of cardboard. Keeps my son's dog out.
Yeah.
She could walk through it real easy, but she won't. So I just put it up there, help keep her out from, because she'll come in and she'll get whatever junk's on the floor and drag it through the house. But you can see how much stuff I've been working on up here. Here's kind of the overview. Pins are still holding the fence right there between the coal mine and the mining supply store, railway express store.
And is that a Campbell's kit? What kind of kit is that?
Yeah, this one here is a Campbell's kit. This is actually Campbell's Supply. What they call it. Then this one's a Sudum kit. It's a metal kit. Then this is a Campbell kit.
Yeah.
Modified a little bit on the tipple.
Don't be surprised if that same kit shows up on my railroad somewhere.
With this one right here, yeah, this is a
Yeah.
nice looking mine.
Nice.
This is the Silver Spur mine. Then this mine here is also a Sudum kit, and it comes with a tunnel that's made in metal also, but it's at an angle, and I needed it to go straight, so I just scratch built one to go into the side of the mountain. Now this is also going to get some more scenery and trees and stuff, and it still needs, of course, people populating it, that sort of thing. But it looks a lot better than just the plywood and cork.
Yeah, Roy Hardwick, he said, "Ooh, finished scenery on the second deck. Claude's been busy."
Yes, he has.
So, and this is also a Campbell kit. This is the Idaho Springs mine, I think is what they call it. I don't know what I'm going to name it yet, but that's that one. And then coming back over toward the summit, this is the one that's going to have the tram towers going up to the top of the mountain and bringing the ore down. Then they'll bring it over to the tipple and dump it. But I just got all this put in yesterday, all static grass and stuff like that. So I still have a lot of trees to put in here, that sort of thing. And then, of course, populate it with the rest of the scenery, the detail of people and stuff like that. But anyway, this is what I've been busily working on, trying to get it ready for an update. So I'll do an update this weekend some point.
That looks great, Claude.
Yeah, it's looking good. I really like it. It's turned out pretty close to what I had envisioned, so I'm happy with it.
Say, for your metal building kit, the mine that you show there, is there any special construction techniques when you're dealing with something that's just a total metal kit?
They give little metal angles to put the walls together with and stuff. The walls are all single flat pieces. The pitched roof right here is formed, but everything else is flat metal pieces, and you solder it together. You could probably glue it with something like an E6000 or something like that, but I went ahead and soldered it. It soldered up pretty easy. Of course, I added the footings down here at the bottom. Sorry about the light right here. I don't have that. Obviously, don't have the valance up here on top yet for the light, but this will be lit up a little bit better. All these buildings are lit with at least one or two lights in each one of them. They're not wired up yet, but I do have lights in them. So anyway, that's I'm getting there. It's starting to look more like a finished railroad. And of course, once I get done with all this, I'll head over and do the town on this other side.
Hey, Jack wants to know what kind of tin, Claude.
What kind of what?
Tin.
Tin?
Yeah.
You're talking about the
I don't know.
Here?
He says what type of tin.
I do not know. It's a Sudum kit. It's I don't know. I don't know that it says in the kit, and if it did, I didn't read it. I think it's just regular steel. It's shiny, and of course I've painted this, but it does come in a bright polish finish. But I couldn't tell you what kind of tin it is, what the makeup of it is. It solders pretty easy. I know that. So the only thing you had to watch is not get too hot a soldering iron on it because you can burn a hole in it. But
He asked, is it stainless?
I don't think it's stainless. I don't think it's stainless at all because it does. I did find some rust on a couple of pieces, very little of it, and of course stainless can rust too, but I don't think it's stainless, but I could be wrong. Like I say, I didn't check. Anyway, I'll cover this up so nobody gets dizzy, Dennis.
I had to quit watching a long time ago.
You got to take Dramamine before the show, dude.
I don't think Dramamine would even help, to be honest. I'm just that sensitive to lateral and up and down movement.
He's just really sensitive.
Well, Dennis, what about if you do quick movements yourself? Does that mess with you?
No, it's really the only time I've ever experienced that kind of thing is watching TV and or YouTube. It's really bad on YouTube. Probably 75% of all model railroaders just go hand in hand, and I'm like, I want to watch, but I can't. But, there's been movies that I've gone to that there was one. It was one of those Born Supremacy movies. I literally went back to the back of the theater and laid down behind the last row of seats and listened to the movie.
Curl up like a little baby, huh?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So we got about 2 minutes left, 3 minutes left. Any more questions for High? That you guys might want to ask before he leaves.
Amazing electronic.
Jerry had a question how I did the sound.
There you go. Did he get an answer?
Oh, he just said through JMRI.
Yeah, because I don't know if you heard it, but there are some announcements.
Yeah, I heard the announcement for the station.
Are they built into JMRI? Because that's an aspect I've never looked at. Oh, he froze. Or did I freeze?
He didn't freeze. It's just maybe no, he didn't freeze. He
didn't freeze. He's just
I hope
told
that's
his
true.
No, we didn't hear it, but I heard it earlier.
Yeah, I heard it when I walked out of the room here.
Yeah,
I was hearing it.
Buddyville.
Beste reizigers. Over enkele minuten komt de trein naar Cowboy binnen op spoor 4. Dear travelers, in a few minutes the train to Codyville will arrive on platform 4.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Multiple languages too.
Yeah. Well, you have to when you're in Europe. You got a bunch of different languages there.
Never been there.
Yeah, it was fun when we flew into Paris that one time and we had to wait 6 hours to be picked up by the tour group that we were going with, listening to all the announcements and stuff and people watching. That was a fascinating 6 hours. But anyway, well, we're at the end of our hour, guys. And again, Hi, thanks for coming on and showing us your layout. And
Yeah, thank you for having me here.
Down in the description is a link to High's layout, to his YouTube page. So go check that out. And
go check them out.
Again, thanks everybody for showing up. Jerry and Bill and Dennis and Steve.
Yep.
And you guys have a good weekend and a good week next week. And we'll see you guys back next week.
Yeah. Bye.
Later, everybody.
Bye.